have to start slow and slowly build it over time. Build what's known as non-negotiables. So this is a term used in a lot, a lot in the financial services in London and around Europe. What are your non-negotiables? What are the things that everyone needs to know about? Everyone's going to know about, and it's going to make you a better person. If no one knows it's non-negotiable, when you say you're going to do it, people might have a problem with it. They might say, no, we've got to do this work. If you establish those non-negotiables early, it fits into everyone's week, everyone's month, the targets, all that sort of thing. And you've got something to talk about. If someone's doing a triathlon in the workplace, you should know that they're doing a triathlon. It's brutal, the training's heavy, they got to be swimming at 5 a.m. before work. Like, if they don't tell anyone, you'll see them and be like, oh, they look tired, they look exhausted. If you tell everyone, how's the training going? How's the swim this morning? It's a bit more friendly and back to that human element. Those sort of behaviors are what gets you to the top level. Not keeping everything to yourself, not closing off, not harboring stress. It's about being open and honest with people.
That's actually a really valuable perspective. In today's world, generally people are in the grind mindset that all we need to do is work, and all we need to do is get out, churn out stuff, work, let's say 20 hours work, 22 hours day, 20 hours days, and 80-hour work weeks. But that's actually really good. I appreciate how you link the physical with the mental. But now let's shift our attention to in the role of mindset. Mindset plays a massive role in success, but it's often spoken about from a purely psychological perspective. How does our physiology, hormones, sleep, nutrition affect the mindset and our overall motivation?
I think you could look at what's known as the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA axis. This is your feedback loop. So you'll start in the hypothalamus, go through the pituitary glands, and then end up in the adrenal cortex, and that's where cortisol is produced. So we've had the example of cortisol, what it is. Now think in the feedback loop. Cortisol you're told to produce more starting at the brain. So it's how you're perceiving things, mindset, right? So if you have a negative perception of a situation, you are going to stimulate more cortisol through the negative feedback loop. Now, when does this stop? It's when the feedback loop stops. So if you continually have a negative connotation to something, maybe it's out of your control, you can continually produce cortisol, maybe in a moment where you don't need it. You're seeing the email pop up as a saber-toothed tiger, when really it's a bunch of words on a screen. Like, when you strip it back, it's not the end of the world. Now, what that leads into is how you can build a good mindset there. So there's an area of research called cognitive behavioural therapy, and that looks at how you frame things. One of them, there's many examples, but I'll give you just a few. Catastrophizing, you're seeing it as the absolute worst thing from a situation. Black and white thinking, it's either this or that, and you lose the grey area. Mind reader, you think you can read what people are saying or what they're thinking. Really, you can't. If humans could do that, then we'd all be a magician on stage, but you can't do that. But the anxiety that comes with overthinking that is going to really affect your mindset long term. But what can you put in place? And it goes back to ancient Greek philosophy, an ancient Stoic known as Epictetus. What Epictetus taught us is something still taught in modern psychology today, in cognitive behavioral therapy today, and even clinical psychiatry today. And what Epictetus taught us is there are things in life you can control, put them here, you draw a line, and then there's all these things you can't control. Controllable factors, uncontrollable factors. Now, what are you not in control of? Other people's thoughts, other people's actions, what they think of you, what they do to you, what they're going to do next. What's a group of people thinking? What if I do this? Mind reading, black and white thinking, mountains and molehills. But what are you in control of? When you look at it objectively, you're in control of your thoughts and your actions. So when you only concentrate on those two, you realize nothing bad happens. You just get rid of a lot of stress and anxiety. You feel lighter on your shoulders. You feel you can sleep easier at night. Because when you reflect on your day, what did I think about? What did I do? Okay, I'll sleep. You're not worrying about the uncontrollable factors. So once you start doing that, it'll affect your mindset. That will go into the HPA axis. You'll have less negative feedback loops. You'll keep your cortisol going through a natural balance of peak and troughs. You'll have a less severe afternoon dip. You'll be less likely to crave certain foods. You'll be better hydrated. You'll be well rested. You'll feel energized for the gym. You'll sleep better. So it all comes together from just how you apply that mindset to those different areas of life. And always draw it back to the controllable factors and uncontrollable factors. And then you'll realize going into that big meeting, going on that date, meeting that friend you haven't seen in a while, having a difficult conversation with a family member, you're going into it with that mindset of those two things you're in control of. If you apply that through your life will become more successful, better, easier, and you'll actually be nice to be around. You won't have that irritability I mentioned with the investment banker.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just be easier. Suddenly the human element goes a lot better and your success will grow and grow and grow over time.
Mm-hmm. That clearly illustrates the interplay between our physical state and our mental drive. Now, moving on, dispelling some common beliefs. What's one myth about personal development that you think needs to be debunked? Something that people believe helps them, but actually holds them back from real growth.
How controversial should I be?
Just like,
I've seen a lot of social media influencers talk about a monk mode. Go 6 months, don't talk to anyone, just work, 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 work. Build your business, build your thing. If you go so long without human interaction, social interaction, you'll become awkward. And then all that work you've been doing, if you need to do business with people, you need to go to meetings, suddenly there's something not quite right from the other person looking in. So you want to have a balance. Some people say 80-20, whether it's exercise, whether it's nutrition, whether it's work versus social, but find something that works for you. I would always say after a busy period of work, a work week, do something that you enjoy, that you know is a good breaking system, a non-negotiable.